Hello there, folks. Hey, Joe Wazoo here. Hey, today we got a quick, kind of an old video, old topic, talking about some text overlay on some primitives. I got this database from a customer, and they sent it to me, and we're kind of zoomed into this area right here. They sent me a picture of what it showed on the real screen that they have, the G315. As you notice here, they circled a couple here. You can see here T open with the T being yellow. It's kind of weird, huh? And down here you can see open with an L hanging out. You see that's kind of weird. So I pondered my thoughts and went over here and looked. And here's the database they sent. So let's just investigate these things real quick. So if we go to properties of this, we can see it's a simple image properties here. It's tied to a tag. It gets format colors from the tag. See anything special in here? No, everything looks pretty much standard. There's a picture, some picture of a valve. Okay, so if we click the OK button, right click on this, let's jump to the tag here. Oops, having a problem here jumping to. I can go to the tag, and it's apparently this tag right here. I can make this a little wider, not that it's going to matter, but it's that tag there. If I go to the Format tab, look, we're using a multi-state. We got some multi-state videos. You can check them out. This is perfect. But look at here. Here's these different states. And if you look, team, worst case scenario, state number 3 here, this condition here, is the widest, if you will, if you look how big that is. So if I go to the data tab and if I simulate here as a 3, put in a simulate 3, when I go back to display pages, I think it was this one here, let me click 1, 2, 3, boom. Just today. Well, hold on, let me try again. Let me go right here. That's the one. So let me switch to a 1. Let me switch to a 1, which should be closed. Okay, let's go back here. 1, 2, 3, click. There. Okay, so that took on, and you can see that change. But according to the picture, it says T open. So that means, listen, that means that this was originally in state number 2. So it was in state number 2 right there, over here. So it said travel, and then it went to open, which was according to this format tab here, was state number 0. So it went from that to a 0. And if I go over to see how it says travel, then it went to open. But the problem is that graphic left that T hanging out. Didn't really cover up the graphic. So let me show you my idea for a fix here in this. So I'm going to copy this thing, copy, and I'll do a paste, and I'll zoom and put it over here. Hey, like a team, it's an old G315. Notice the buttons. Hey, anyway, so if I zoom in onto this here, let's look at this guy right here. And let's go properties here. We know it's tied to that tag. That looks good. We get the colors from that tag. Let's look here something. Okay. So the only thing I want to do here is I want to make sure I'm pointing to the tag. So if I go, it's this tag here. And of course, you can always right click over on this side. You can right click. Maybe I can't here. Right click. Sync panes. Puts it on this side of the crimson over here, which is great. There it is right there. So if I go back to display pages and go to data tags, there it is highlighted. I'm going to disassociate this with that tag since we know it's the second one down. So I'm going to go here to properties and I'm going to delete this part here. All right. There's the numbers. Okay, so there's where it was getting that text. If I go to colors, I'm going to change this to black. I wish I could make that clear, but anyway. So if I click the OK button, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this second tag. I'm going to drag it down here like this. Drag that second tag right there. But I want to copy all the text formatting from one of these to this guy. So I'll right click and I'll go to copy from, copy text format. I can click on any of these, don't matter, but I'll click on this one here. Boom. And then I'm going to double click on this thing or right click, go to properties. And on the data tab, I don't want to see the name of the tag. I want to see just the data value. So I'm going to say data value, and I also want to get the colors from the tag because there's some color work done. So I'll click the OK button. So now I can shrink this guy like so. And I'll put it right here. Now you want to, I'm going to leave it, let me zoom in so you guys can see a little better. I'm going to try to go right over that existing thing. However, I want to make this in the worst case scenario to make sure I'm wide enough. So if I right click, jump to that tag again, format tab shows state number 3. to be the widest. So if I click the data tab, change the 0 to a 3, go back to display pages, 1, 2, 3, boom. Aha, so perfect. And what I'm saying is I want to make sure that the box is not too small. It's got to be just right. So that's what I want to do. Put that like that. All right. So now I want to make this whole thing a reusable widget. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight or lasso the whole thing. Oops. I have to go a little wider like this. I'm going to lasso the whole thing like that. Then right click and go to widgetize. We know this thing's all associated with one tag, which is over here, number 2 tag. Hit the edit button here. Change the content from 0 count to 1. And I'm going to put here where it says data, I'll put text box. Actually, let's call it value. Okay, that's called the value. I'm going to highlight the data, delete that part. Notice over here this is an X, so that means I'm going to make the data type an integer here. And since this is yellow, or it could have been green, on the flags category, I'm going to make it a tag. I wish it said the word writable or readable here, because that's kind of what that means. But I'm going to make it a tag, means readable. I'll turn on folder binding. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to turn on folder binding. I'll click the OK button. Remember the word value, because that's the name of the widget tag here that persists in this graphic. So I'll click OK again. So now I got to go in. I want to take this thing and I want to connect it to value instead of the real tag over here. So notice I got the red border. I'm going to click once on this thing here inside the green border. Now I'm focused on this element here. So if I right click, go to properties, and instead of being tied to the tag, I'm going to highlight this whole thing here, and I'm going to type value, the name of that widget tag. Watch what happens when I hit enter. 1, 2, 3. Number 25 shows up. That means I created the widget correctly. If you read the manual on chapter on widgets, when you get the number 25, that means you've correctly created it the right way. So I'll click the OK button here. All right. Yeah, that's okay. I can see that background there, but now that I got that like that, team, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click on the whole thing, go to properties. I'm just going to drag this guy right here, boom, like that. And now that's fixed. And let me just prove it to you, because if I go back to data tags, and if I switch this to say 1, go back to here, it'll show that correctly every time. And that's how I do it. So now what I would do is in this example is I'll delete this one here, boom. And now that this one works, I'll go ahead and move this guy up here like this, put it in the right spot, and I'll just go ahead and reuse that on every one of these on this page. The other thing you can also do is, now that I did that, I can right click and do copy, paste. And if I take the pasted version and clear the binding, clear it, I can go to the organize pull down and save widget. And in this case, this is for a person named Solis. So I've already created it here. And once I save the valve here, so yeah, sure. Now that I've done that, I can go over to primitives over here, and I can go down to widgets, and there it is. And I can reuse it over and over again. Keep in mind that this is an old G315, so you can't see the name of the file above here, but this is in Crimson 3.0. So everything I did in this video is also applicable to Crimson 3.1 and also Crimson 3.2. Hey, thanks a lot, folks. Have a great day. See you later.